welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to be looking at A Walk in the Clouds. I have limited stuff to do for Mexican American, let alone stuff in New Mexico around the 1820s. So we're gonna look at this. This is a PG-13 romance film. So in this story, we have Keanu Reeves' character, who's a returned soldier from World War II. He returns home to his wife, who I think they married during the war, Deborah Messing, and he's been changed by the war. He wrote a bunch of letters to her. She doesn't get it. She wants him to go back to being a chocolate salesman. And so he leaves to go north to Sacramento. So he gets on a train. He runs into a young Mexican woman who's coming home from college. Eventually, they bumped into each other. He loses his ticket on the train that's supposed to take him all the way to San Francisco. So he has to get off the train and end up catching a bus. And she's on that same bus. And they talk. And then she's harassed by some gentleman on the bus, and all three of them get kicked off. Not her. And then he's walking. He's trying to get to Sacramento, which is in Northern California, from San Francisco, which is also in Northern California, but obviously Sacramento is further north. And he runs into her, and it's like, you got kicked off. She's like, I'm sorry. You should probably get away from me after everything that's happened to you, because he, of course, lost his train ticket. And then he nearly missed this bus and then got kicked off the bus. And eventually she tells him that she was having an affair with one of her professors, but he didn't want anything to do with her, and she's pregnant. And she's afraid to go home to her father because she thinks he'll kill her. So he's very, very old-fashioned. They run a vineyard in Napa Valley. And obviously very similar to Josephina. They're Catholic. So he's old-fashioned and Catholic, and the head of the household. He bears quite a few similarities to, say, Josephina's father, only her father's not old-fashioned. He's just in the past. So, mind you, this is in the past, too. This is at the end of World War II is over. You see Keanu Reeves' character periodically having flashbacks because he was in battle. He has a Purple Heart. He has a couple other different medals. And so in order to help her, he pretends to be her husband. So she takes him home. He's introduced to the family. Her father is still pissed off because he wants her to marry some guy she's never met in Mexico. And various different family things happen. Eventually, it's revealed what they did. She may have had a miscarriage. She may still be pregnant. I'm not entirely sure. He leaves, goes back to gets a ride, goes back to San Francisco, catches his wife with somebody else. She hands him papers for an annulment, so he signs them. So now they're not together anymore. He's in love with the woman he pretended to be husband to. So he goes back and finds her father in the vineyard. Her father's pissed. He's also very, very drunk. And they get in a fight. And she hears him calling for her. She comes running out. But her father throws a lantern. And the vineyard lights on fire. And they can't save it. They try. But he goes and finds the original plant that I believe what's our main character's name? The girl. Victoria. His father brought from Mexico, and he digs up the root, and it's still alive. And so they can restart the vineyard. So because the fire didn't get to the root, so they can, and it's very possible that the rest of the plants aren't completely destroyed because the roots were deep. So that kind of ends the film, and of course he's going to marry her. So it's a fun film. You see a little bit of the flashbacks. Yes, it's PG-13. Everything's really mild. There's not really a lot of violence. There's not a ton of swearing, I don't think. Obviously, you have unplanned pregnancy. There's no gore. Everything is mild. There's going to be drinking. They own a vineyard. They make wine. Of course there's going to be drinking. There's smoking. It's the 1940s. Of course there's going to be smoking. There's a little bit of nudity. This is actually Deborah Messing, who's more known for Will and Grace's first film. There may have been some controversy. There is a mild sex scene with her and Keanu Reeves at the beginning. You do not see much. And again, you can always fast forward through it. It has very little to do with the actual film. But she's not really in it all that much, and she's very much not a good character. She she's a slutty character in this. But again, this is 1995. And this is the start of her career, and then she has a decent career. And then Keanu Reeves is actually pretty early on in his career as well. I don't know if this is before or after Speed, but he's at this point he would have been known more for Bill and Ted, which I've never seen. But again, Keanu Reeves is good looking and he's a fantastic person and he's a good actor. But it's a very entertaining film. It's very family based. You get to see this Mexican family on their vineyard. Yes, they're in northern Mexico, but even during Josefina's time, California was part of Mexico. So you get to see that culture. At first, when I saw this years ago, I thought it was taking place in Spain. But again, it's Napa Valley, California, and I was young. So I do enjoy this film. I do recommend it. It shows, its connection to Josefina is, again, it shows that family. It shows the family dynamic but it is also showing where Victoria has gone to college. She's trying to become more of a modern woman, and her father is going against that. So you see that conflict. But it is very, very much about family and loyalty and how family works together. It's a fun film. Again, depending on what you want your younger kids to see, this probably late elementary, but again, that's on you. Otherwise, it's PG-13. So middle school and up. But again, it's a fun film. You see a lot of the family. You see the vineyards. You see how the family works together and how this big vineyard works and the family dynamics, which is what I enjoy about this film. So, and let's see, how long is this? I'm looking at IMDb. And it's about an hour and 42 minutes, so not too long. So, again, I enjoyed it. I watched it on Amazon. It's just easier. I rented it. I saw it years ago, but I wanted to at least get a look on it. So, fantastic film, a lot of family, which is the reason I chose it for this. Mexican family, so you see that dynamics. You also see her grandparents. So her father's parents and stuff are involved. So you see that big family structure that you do see a little bit of Josefina's books, because you do see them interact. Though, quite honestly, we never hear about Josefina's father's parents. You have his older sister, but not his parents. You see her mother's parents, but nonetheless, you do see a little bit of that multi-generational household in Josefina, because her sister and her oldest sister and her sister's husband and their kids all live there with Josephine, her sister, and their father. So, but this, you really do see that grandparents, great-grandparents, that long family structure, which you also see in Coco. So, fantastic film. Again, a little bit more for the older. It is also a romance. But it's a good romance. And it has Keanu Reeves. And who was the actress? Anita Sanchez. Oh, I can't pronounce her name, and I have no idea where the heck she's from. I think I might have seen her in old JAG TV shows. Showing my age. Nonetheless, great film. Definitely leaning on the older, but it's a definite representation if you're looking at winemaking and Hispanic family culture. So, if you like, that will be the end of this video. I will be continuing. I have one more review video-wise to do for Josefina, which is moving with Mexican American history, which is more historical than what I've done so far. Then we're moving on to Marie Grace and Cecile, which is the 1850s 1850s in New Orleans. Then we're on to Kirsten, who's still in the 1850s, but in Minnesota. Addie, who's the 1860s. We're looking at the American Civil War. And then further on to history, we actually do a giant jump to go into Samantha in 1904. So, and if you want to look back this year, I've already covered Caroline, the War of 1812, and the American Revolution with Felicity, and then Native Americans before first contact on the West Coast anyway, which is Kea. And then I have a whole bunch of other videos. So check out the rest of the channel. Leave a positive comment if you have one, and I will see you next time. Thank you.